too late. Actually, probably should make sure that this is. Yep, not connected. We're good. Okay, just making sure we're not broadcasting this across YouTube and Facebook because we'll record.
We just got to do the blooper reel.
Just got to have a blooper reel.
We got to have at least a 2-minute blooper reel, YouTube short.
Absolutely. So Keith had one picked out.
And I changed my mind.
And then he changed his mind. And then I remembered after we were sitting here that I poured what was left of my McKenna up into this little Springer decanter up here, that old Fitzgerald decanter up there. So I do have a McKenna open, but I get to open another one. It's another single barrel, so you never know, it might be a little different. So these Henry McKenna single barrels got a lot of hype. They won gold at the San Francisco Spirits Fest, I think it was, a couple years ago, and they skyrocketed in price. Mm-hmm. We used to be able to get these for about $30. These were absolutely amazing. I have tags over here hanging on my lamp that sits on the end of my bar from a McKenna that I had way back because I used to keep all the little tabs from them.
Yeah.
So these, like I said, used to be about $35. Was a great product at that, and I think still at 55 or 60, whatever you can find these for, I think it's still a great bottle. So, again, I'm not upset that I got to open another one to try it. I mean, it's a 10-year-old bottled and bond, federally regulated warehouse, single barrel product, Heaven Hill Distillery. I mean, Heaven Hill doesn't miss. But actually, I don't think we've had any Heaven Hill on this Fresh Crack. I think this is going to be the only one we've had that's a Heaven Hill product. Mostly because all my Heaven Hill stuff's open. It's too good to keep it closed up. So actually, one of your favorite budget ones, the Evan Williams, that's Heaven Hill.
Okay.
So
nice.
So yeah. So we're going to open up this one. The barrel date is August 7th, 2012. So I'm assuming they bottled it up in 2022. Probably didn't let it go a day over 10 years old so they can put it on the label. Get its little tagger off.
And I only picked this one because I've walked down here to the bar and I've seen the McKennas, and it's just one of those bottles that's honestly just been staring at me.
They're a gorgeous looking simple bottle.
It is a simple bottle. And like we did the Smoke Wagon, that was a really crazy looking bottle, really intricate looking bottle. There wasn't much to write home about it.
Yep.
So just, before we started, I was telling Ben, maybe there's a correlation there. Simple bottle, better bourbon, because they're letting the whiskey speak for itself rather than having a fancy label, fancy bottle. So
there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
Do love the bottling with this though, with the old faux tax strips that used to have to be on the bottles.
Yeah, that's cool.
That they paid their tax or whatever when they bottled them. Yep. I think those are really cool to add onto the aesthetic, like the Black Button one had that. Yep. A couple of the other ones.
Yep. Now, is that only specific to the bond, or like how does the tax stamp thing?
So the tax stamp was just to show that the bottle paid its tax.
Gotcha.
Back when there wasn't as much permitting and stuff like that, it was the tax strips to show that it was actually tax paid, stuff like that. Back in the day,
right?
Typically, you see it on a lot of bonded products because of the history of the Bottle and Bond Act,
right?
But yeah, it's still really cool with this. Got a nice, cool custom label on it. And like I said, I'm not ever upset when I have to crack another McKenna. Believe me. So quiet on set for the cork pop. No toilets flushing. The furnace is off. So
that was a good one.
Solid.
Yeah.
Nice, real cork.
Oh, it smells nice.
Oh, yeah. McKenna's are, make sure. So my glasses are in the front. Keith's are in the back. Making sure that the A's are here and the B's are here. I don't want to mix anything up, to be fair with the whole.
So as far as like bourbons go, we've done Russell's. We've done
Wild Turkey. So yeah, Russell's Wild Turkey. This one's Heaven Hill, like we were talking about.
So in the bourbon world, where does a McKenna typically stack up? Like, if somebody's going to go get a McKenna, what is somebody going to compare that to? Because I know nothing about McKenna. That was one of the amazing reasons I wanted to pick this one, because it kept staring at me every time I walked down here. I'm like, man, that bottle looks cool. I've never heard of it. Yeah. I want to try that one.
Yeah, so McKenna's made by Heaven Hill, which is down in Kentucky. It's a Kentucky distillery.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Williams, Elijah Craig, basically all this stuff here. If you look at my shelf, everything on the bottom here is
Evan Hill.
The
Okay.
Pikesville, Rittenhouse, Mellowcorn, the actual Heaven Hill bottled and bond.
Yep.
The Evan Williams and Heaven Hill companies do a lot of bottled and bond products. They have a lot of bonded warehouses. It's kind of like their bread and butter thing.
Their niche.
Yep. Minimum 4 years, federally bonded warehouse.
Yep.
No additives, obviously. New oak containers to be bourbon. All that good jazz. Bottled at 100 proof.
Yep.
That's the other big key thing with bottled and bond. So, and this McKenna is a damn good product. Like I said, if you like budget line Evan Williams bottled and bond, this is its bigger brother.
So I'm probably gonna.
This is really, really nice. Like I said, I'm not mad to crack another one.
I kind of feel that I'm making you crack it, but I want to try it so bad.
And I think this is a great one to bring to bottle shares. They're not as common as you see anymore.
Yeah.
I did find one at K&M a while back. That was the 11-11-11 bottle.
Yep.
Which I have another one in storage. That bottle was amazing. That one's still up a little bit left in that decanter.
Mm-hmm.
Not much. And then this one I found at a ghetto, if you can say that word anymore, ghetto looking liquor store in Auburn.
Okay.
Me and Hannah went and stopped at 2 stores. I met up with a buddy of mine. We swapped a couple bottles that he had that I wanted, and I wanted bottles that he had. He had bottles that I wanted. So we stopped at a couple stores. The main one that we stopped at and met at and changed bottles at, there wasn't anything to buy there that I didn't want. And then we stopped at this little ghetto one that was like 1 block away from where we were going to 30th birthday party that evening. And I saw this McKenna sitting on the shelf, and I was like, I'm going to buy that because I don't see that. And that's actually where I also found your single barrel Bowman.
Really?
The other one that we tried.
Nice.
So these little kind of ghetto shops, sometimes you find them, and this was dusty. I mean, it still is dusty.
Yeah.
It sat on the shelf for a little bit down there.
So the little hole in the wall places are worth stopping at.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't overlook them. You can find some great stuff. You can find some old stuff that they don't make anymore, or stuff that's harder to come by that just a lot of people aren't visiting.
Or they don't know, they've never had it, and they just don't want to try it. Don't want to risk spending the $50-$60 to.
Yeah, they're there for their Jack Daniels or Jim Beam or whatever their daily drinker kind of liquor is. I think this is going to be a good fight. With this, we have the Coopers in glass B.
Yep.
And then the McKenna in glass A. So my McKenna's here, and my Cooper's is here. Just want to make sure that we're square.
I got B in the right and left. And one thing I've been doing since, I can't remember which bottle we opened, but it was letting them sit.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember which one. We opened a bottle, and we immediately grabbed it and took a sip. And it was like pure ethanol.
Yeah.
Pure just alcohol.
Yep.
Smell, taste kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you did a little research or read a little bit that it does help to let them sit.
Yeah,
for a couple minutes.
my buddy Wayne, who lives down in Long Island area, he recommends 1 minute per year old the whiskey is. Is kind of what his rule of thumb is. I think that's a great rule of thumb. The problem with it is I enjoy my whiskey, so I have a hard time letting it sit for that long.
You can't let it, and we're doing a video.
We can't just sit here
and
BS with it. I mean, we're 10 minutes in. We're trying to keep these to 30 minutes, to keep you guys engaged and keep the content lively, obviously, too, with it. So, I don't know what you think. You want to go McKenna first or Cooper's first?
I'm going McKenna first myself.
Going McKenna first? All right, I'm going McKenna first then, too.
Cheers.
Cheers on it.
Ooh, that smells amazing. It's like, but again, it's that sweetness.
Dude, it's like a buttery sweet. Just a
smooth
frickin'
sweet. Not molasses, not heavy sweet.
Just a nice balance.
Not like a super fruity sweet.
It's like a creamy honey
It's that Bowman honey. It's that Bowman sweet. It's got that Bowman sweet.
But again, it's going to have that with the 10 years age, man. It's
Yeah.
10 years old. It's.
Whew. That's got to be one of the best smelling.
The nose is amazing on it.
Bourbons I think I've experienced so far.
Mm-hmm.
That's
which
really
again
good.
gets the age, which is probably, other than the Russell's 10, obviously it's a 10-year-old too.
Right.
But it's probably the oldest one we've had here on the Fresh Crack.
That is.
Dude, it's one you can just keep smelling. You can just smell that.
Yeah, really pretty color. Not really light, not really dark, kind of mild color.
And nice kind of oily look on the glass.
What the heck is that word for that? Where the sugar kind of goes up and comes down? There's
The legs.
The legs, okay.
Yeah, talking about the legs on it.
Yep.
Nice oily legs.
Sure.
All right, man. Cheers on your McKenna. Bold. A little bit more bold than the other one that I remember.
Not Cooper's Bold.
Not Cooper's Bold.
That is not Cooper's Bold.
No.
That's what I like about this is it's not punching me in the face. The sweetness is there for sure.
Still going.
And yeah, the sweetness is not dying. That flavor's not dying. It's not falling off the hill or the cliff like
the proof hangs there.
Yeah.
The flavor hangs there. And it rides. It rides that flavor. Not just the proof feel like the Coopers did, but the flavor with it.
It's not burning. Like it's not my tongue's not super stimulated like
the Coopers.
From the Coopers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's smooth yet complex. And it's
long mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's not falling off at all. From front to back, it's there.
You could sit there and just you can still taste it if you want to, a little bit. It's got that lingering flavor, that lingering feel.
And honestly, to me, this is not drinking like 100.
No.
This is drinking like maybe
a 90.
Yeah, 90.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's not like 80 proof water, but it's 90.
It hits harder than the smoke wagon that we did
last week.
But it's not a bold and punch slap like the Coopers that we did previous. That's tasty. That is tasty. You know, honestly, when I drink this, it reminds me of the Russell's 10.
10 years old. I mean, you get a lot of barrel influence, but you get that rounded edges that it's just nice. It's round. It's a wholesome, just a good flavored product that lets the whiskey get its age, lets it get the barrel influence, and lets it come down once you put it in at 100. I think it just lets a lot of stuff stand out in that bottle.
The way I would describe this is a complete flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just complete all around.
It's really well rounded. It's not too in your face. It's complex. It's there through the whole experience, front to back. $60. That's right in the Bowman range. And I think if I were to compare to this one that I've had previously, I would probably, in my own experience, probably put this in the John J. Bowman realm.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
For the
great Friday
sweetness.
pour.
Yeah, Friday pour, the complexity, the sweetness. Yeah, this is great.
And like I said, before it won those awards at the San Francisco Spirits Fest or whatever it was, that bottle used to be $30-$35, man, and it was a steal of a bottle at $30-$35. I mean, that would be everyday drinker level at $30-$35.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
But now it's 55 plus tax if you can find it. That one was 60 plus tax.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more than I wanted to pay for it, but you just don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
The hype got wrapped around them from the fest, and rightfully so. It's a great bottle of bourbon, and you got to wait 10 years though too.
Yeah.
It's not like one of these that you're turning around banging out in like 4 or 5 year bottle and bond. It's a 10-year-old product that had to sit in a barrel for 10 years. They had to pay tax on it. So getting it back in the day at $30 was a complete steal.
Yeah.
That's less than $3 a year.
So, I mean, as far as like, if we're going to talk 10 years, man, that's a good bottle for a 10 year. That's a good, it's not a bad price.
No.
You know, and so I come from a Scotch background before Ben got me drinking bourbons. And if you look at a 12-year Scotch, it's way more money. It's double that.
Mm-hmm.
It's $100, right? Just looked at a 12-year Macallan that was 90 some odd dollars, right? When they used to be like 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I would much rather buy this $60 bottle of 10 years than spend $40 more for a 12-year Scotch with the Macallan. Kind of bang for your buck.
Yep.
Gonna be honest, for $60, I probably like if there was a Russell's.
Russell's single barrel.
Yeah, the Russell single barrel,
mm-hmm.
the McKenna. If they were both side by side, $60,
mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't get the McKenna.
Yeah, if you can get the Russells, I mean
they're side by side.
I don't knock that at all. Same price.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just seems that I've corrupted you into that turkey
You're
profile.
You're bad. It's bad because
I'm sorry.
It's so but it's similar. But if I'm gonna pick,
there's no turkey spice with it though. Not like
that's where I'm going, and it doesn't have the spice, which I like. I don't like that spice as much, but I can't say that because in the blinds I picked the spice, right? So me saying that it doesn't mean much,
right?
Because in the blinds, that's not what I chose.
Well, and I think turkey, the last, at least since I've really started drinking bourbon, like since 15 or 16 or whatever, in the last 6-7 years, I've drank whiskey and bourbon more. Turkey has rounded off their edges a little bit more. It used to be sharper. It used to be a lot spicier. And I think they've kind of, with maybe, I don't think it's their mash bill that's changed, but I think it's more of, their process on how they bottle it and mix barrels. I think they've rounded a lot more of those edges off in the last few years. So stuff definitely tastes a lot different than it did, back then.
You're right, though. That's a good point to bring up that spiciness. It's smooth. I mean, it's
like a sweet honey bourbon.
It is really caramel. Smooth. Like that to me, that's a Friday pour. You come over. That's the bottle I'm going to pick.
That's one you bring to a bottle share with 6-8 other guys that bring a bottle and say, hey, try this out, or, hey, do you mind if I bring a McKenna?
Yep, for sure.
Because, again, you might get different barrel feels from this one. Like I said, this one almost drinks harsher than my other McKenna, from my memory of it, without going side by side, actually.
And that, because it's here, why not? To be fair.
Got to pour McKenna sea glass.
And man, it might sound strange to say, but if you're somebody that enjoys the smell, that McKenna, the nose on that is incredible.
And trying to smell and then pick up those notes in the flavor, I think it's huge. And you can do that a lot with the McKenna.
If you're going to go for, the experience of just not just taking a swig and down the hatch she goes. If you're going to go for that drinking experience, the McKenna is a good experience.
So this is a 11-11-11 bottle McKenna.
We're going to call it the Springer McKenna.
The Springer McKenna.
Yep.
Just a little dab in there.
Okay.
Again, I have another bottle of this. I don't want to open it. I think 11-11-11, I'm kind of superstitious with stuff, so... And this is like a 375 milliliter decanter. It's a small decanter. So.
Now the smell's completely different to me.
And that one's been open for a bit.
I'm not getting the sweet tones.
A little appley.
Yeah.
I do pick up a little more apple with this one. No cork floating in it.
Oh, wow. That's way smoother. That's so different.
Single barrel. And this is what we talk about with this tasting thing. We had the same thing with the Bowmans.
Yeah, completely different.
They were completely different barrels. I think these are completely different barrels. That one, dude, almost drinks like an 80.
It drinks like a 75. I mean,
and not even legal whiskey. It is what it drinks like. It's so easy going.
That's crazy.
And there's complexity to it with being that low drinkability.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really, that 11-11-11 one, I wish there was more of them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I should talk to those guys at K&M and see if they got a couple of them hidden back in the warehouse somewhere. But no, it was so damn good, dude.
That's kind of a good talking point. Like, something we don't talk about a lot, and I think other people don't talk a lot about is, you know, Ben and I were talking off camera, like, a Coors Light is a Coors Light, a Miller Lite's a Miller Lite, a Corona's a Corona. Bottle to bottle, can to can, they taste the same. You have a John J. Bowman, it's a John J. Bowman that you buy in 2022, and then you go buy the same John J. Bowman, the same Coopers, the same McKenna. The bottle looks the same.
It might have some similarities,
but your experience in drinking that, you know, the label's the same or whatever, but your experience drinking those could be completely different from year to year, from season to season, and I think that's kind of a cool experience with bourbon.
Oh, it's the coolest thing, that even like the differences you have in what you eat that day.
Yeah.
Can change what you like or what you don't like with certain things.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, season to season. Like right now, it's springtime. And we haven't drank a lot of really hot stuff. We haven't drank barrel proofs really on this show. We've been sticking in the 100 range. You're fairly new to it.
Yeah.
I don't want to just be like, whoa, and like fry you out of it. You know, I do enjoy higher proof. I like more of that 115 and up. Mm-hmm. As do you. You do like the Russell single barrels. Those are 110s. Yep. You know, getting up there in proof. Mm-hmm. You know, for a lot of people, they go, oh, you know.
Yeah.
But there's other stuff, like you talked about, that Bowman cask strength at 145. You know, maybe trying that, and some other ones.
Oh, we're definitely trying that one.
Oh yeah.
If we can find it, we're getting it.
Yeah. If I see it, I'll definitely get after it. But no, and again, the crazy thing, like you said, especially with single barrels, and that's where you guys got to read your labels, understand your labels. That single barrel, unless you get another bottle from that barrel,
the same exact
barrel, like barrel number, 12726, it's going to taste different.
Yeah, and it's just it's kind of a cool thing that I'm learning as I'm doing this. Is like, you look at the different barrels, but then you think about, okay, so like I love trees. I've taken dendrology. You realize every tree is like a human, right? It's unique. So moving that forward, if you take that train of thought moving forward to bourbon, every barrel is going to be unique because every single piece of wood in that barrel is unique.
100%.
So,
and multiple trees in multiple barrels.
Yeah, so that's going to that's going to increase the uniqueness. That might change the complexity, and that's just a cool part of drinking bourbon that like you don't get in drinking other spirits, right? So, if you're not into bourbon, start with a lower proof, like I did.
Yep. Start with something consistent too.
Yeah, and step yourself up. Don't go to those higher proofs. Like Ben gave me a higher proof a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Whoa, like that's too much. That's too much."
That one wheat whiskey.
Yeah, like that's too much. We gotta back it up.
Yeah, it was 124.
Yeah, we gotta back the truck up on that one.
Yep.
But you take something like this McKenna, 10 years old, 100 proof, and man, like if I get somebody that is starting out on bourbon that just wants to have a really high quality bourbon, $60, that's a good bottle.
100%.
For that experience.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, I think that...
And not as spicy as turkey?
No.
Not as sharp as turkey?
No, not nearly sharp. No.
So, but again, I like that sharpness, and I kind of was bummed when they took away from those kind of sharp edges with turkey. Yeah. I like that little bit of grit when I'm drinking my bourbon.
So, the question is, are you ready to compare to the slap in the face? Oh, come on.
I had to take one when it was fresh on my...
cheating over here.
I'm not cheating. I'm being fair with it. I got them both down to the same.
To be fair
with it. I tell you what, though. Out of all the three that I've had, I would still pick that 11-11-11 bottle. But that's, again, that is... Like, you could feel like you could drink that all night, and it would catch up to you in a bad way.
The McKenna?
The 11 one out of the decanter.
if we were sitting by a bonfire,
and you were just passing that around and taking pours off of it?
We were taking pours on that. My wife would be driving home in a hurry.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say it. So that bottle right there is a bottle that I would bring to your birthday.
Yeah, absolutely. Special occasion.
Yeah.
Bottle share, Friday night pour. Mm-hmm. Great bottle for it.
So I'm going to try some of the Coopers now.
A little slap in the face?
It's not a punch.
No, just a little slap.
It's a
little slap.
It's a Will Smith slap. It's a Will Smith slap.
A little Will Smith slap. Just a little aftershave.
Just call me Chris Rock.
A little after.
Man, that McKenna's good. That Cooper's is gooder.
You do like the Coopers?
Yeah.
You like a little bit of the harsh.
Maybe it's because we've had a couple.
Oh yeah, no, and there's you definitely warm up on your palate as you've had one or two of them.
I think it's all about what you enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like me. Like, let's talk about beer for a second. I only drink Corona with 2 limes.
Mm-hmm.
Just what I prefer, right?
Right.
So every person might enjoy bourbon for a different reason, whatever that may be. Whether you like the spice, whether you like the boldness, whether you like the sweet, the smooth. But, man, I can't thank you enough, because what you're doing is you're teaching me, and I hope everyone watching will kind of pick up on this, is every single bottle is unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially single barrels versus, small batches, everything like that. And again, if you're getting into this, I would recommend trying to figure out your flavors. Reach out to somebody that has some bottles.
Mm-hmm. You got to find a Ben.
Yeah, find a Ben. Yeah, I need to find a Ben, so I don't have to buy so many bottles. But I would start with the everyday run bottles, a small batch bottle, because you're going to be able to replicate that and get a lot more consistency with it. When you get more into these single barrel offerings, mm-hmm. you can go extreme. I mean, we saw it with the Bowman, we saw it with the McKenna. I mean, you're going to see that bottle to bottle, difference to difference. When you're just getting into this, to find if you like the Heaven Hill distillers at Evan Williams, Elijah Craig, McKenna, or if you like the Turkey, the Russells, that mm-hmm. kind of branch, or Brown Foreman, Coopers, that kind of channel too. Figure out what your kind of palate likes, and then track with it, and then explore on it. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with exploring, but find friends that have them. Go to bars that have a nice whiskey selection and not just Jack Daniels and Jim Beam. Nothing wrong with those. I drink them.
Yep.
But, a lot of times I'm going to a bar and seeing if they have something I haven't had, to see if it's something I want to go try to find.
So what I'm learning through doing this process here and just being at the bar is drinking bourbon is an experience. Mm-hmm. It's not, and you got to realize that I come from a small farm town where the only thing that everyone drinks is Keystone Light.
That's fair. That's fair, dude.
Keystone Light and well vodka, right? So, my first whiskey experience, expensive bottle, was Crown Royal, right? So,
and Crown was fancy back in high school,
right? Well,
nice little velvet bag.
About 8 months ago, it was also, so if you guys are looking for a unique experience of trying different bottles and having new unique experiences with every bottle you buy or every bottle you get to try, man, do it. Like if you can buy a $60 bottle, do it. If you can buy a $40 bottle, do it. And what's cool is at every price point, whether it's a $30 bottle, right to $100 bottle, you're gonna be able to get those different experiences in each kind of price bracket.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a cool thing that you can't do with vodka beer, right?
Yeah.
A $10 beer is a $10 beer.
Yeah. Right.
But like we've had $80 bourbons that drink like a $40 bourbon. We've had $40 bourbons that taste like or drink like a $80 bourbon, or whatever you want to. So that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. And again, it's all based on your profile. You might like something completely different than we do. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with any of that.
No.
That's the beauty of it. And there's stuff that we agree on. There's also stuff we disagree on. You know, I think I have my clear-cut winner.
What do you think?
You know, for moving on. I'll be fair with that.
I think I know what you're going to say.
You want to do it on a 3 count and do it at the same time?
Yep.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Coopers.
I think if it had gone up against the McKenna 11,
yeah, that'd be different.
That would be different. I would be going with that McKenna.
Mm-hmm.
This one, again, it's a fresh crack, but I got to give it to that Coopers. It almost holds more complexity.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's just not quite as rounded. I almost like it one way with the sharp edges, with the Coopers, that little bit of bite in that bold.
Yep.
Or I like it on that side of the McKenna thing where it's just like, I could sip this.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
All night long. And the McKenna on the in-between with those two extremes just doesn't stack up. And then when you throw the price into it.
Yeah, the price is... And that's kind of like... I feel bad bringing price into it, but...
You got to consider it.
In reality, the people watching are going to go spend this money.
Mm-hmm. Again, there's a $100 bill sitting there.
Yeah, and man, that Coopers, bang for your buck.
You could buy 2 Coopers for $100.
Knocks it out of the park. Yeah. Bang for your buck, man. That Coopers is good. So, if anyone can find this through an online distributor and get that shipped in New York,
I think Coopers is a great option.
It's a great buy for the money. It really is. And another thing I'm kind of thinking about right now too is like, no one. I should say it's more rare that you're going to sit down and have one bourbon, right? When I sit down and have a bourbon, it doesn't.
Like a 2-ounce pour, yeah.
No, what my point is, it doesn't happen.
Right.
I don't sit down and have a bourbon. Yeah. I sit down and have 2 bourbons, like typically me.
End of the night or whatever. Yep.
So you might get used to that, the flavor profile of the Coopers, that kind of hit in your face, and it's a surprise when you first try it. And then the second one, you're like, you know what to expect, and you enjoy it more because you know what to expect.
I think a little bit more of the flavor comes out in it now that I've had a few, and I can feel that.
Yeah.
Like I said, the McKenna, this one is almost too simple for how it drinks, if that makes sense, compared to the Coopers. It was good. Again, a great bottle. I think if you can find a McKenna, I think it's a great addition to any bar. You know, for sure. They were, like I said, phenomenal at $30-$35. Those days are long gone. We'll never get back to those days. At least knock on wood. Well, maybe I hope so, but knock on wood, I hope so. The distillers don't have to knock them down to that. But now that they know the value of that bottle, and 10 years old, with the amount of bourbon that's getting produced now, that's getting in short supply. Yeah. You're getting younger whiskey and bourbon across the board. And I think this Coopers is a great representation of a $35, $40 bottle, we'll call it. Yep. I think it could stand up right with the Russells. Yeah. And not get into that Russell's single barrel price point that the McKenna is. Yeah, it's a different league. Like if I'm gonna go spend $60, I'm going Russell's single barrel. I'm going Russell's single barrel all day long. I haven't had a bad one. For my experience so far, we haven't had one here yet that could dethrone the Russell's single barrels. For $40, I would buy the Coopers for $40 over the Bowman at $55. Yep, I think so for sure. I think that Coopers is just it's a good bottle. Again, like I said, I got to keep hounding on K&M's because as soon as that hits the shelves, we're gonna plug the snot out of it. Maybe we can get a barrel pick of a Coopers for the store. I don't know if Coopers does barrel picks. The only thing you can do is ask and try. Yeah. So we just got to make it happen and see if we can do that. And man, I've subscribed to like a couple of newsletters for different bourbons, and they send me stupid text messages and emails and stuff like that of what they could send. So, man, if anyone can get that Coopers sent to New York through whatever company, man, you can Google anything nowadays. Yeah. If you can get it for around that $40 mark, I think it's a great bottle to have on your shelf. That's a steal of a deal. If it's a good one, do it. Or if you got family that lives in another state that's going to be traveling up. Absolutely. I mean, anything like that, because you can find that Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia.
Pennsylvania?
Probably you can find it in Pennsylvania.
That's funny because my best friend lives in Pennsylvania.
I would just ask them and be like, "Hey, can you find Coopers? Does it distributed to And again, another one that I've heard a lot about that they get a lot of distribution is Maine. Surprisingly,
Maine?
Yeah.
My coworker goes to Maine every summer.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right,
but
so basically, network your friends to buy you bourbon.
That's possible. Possible. But.
The moral of the story: everyone watching, find yourself a Ben.
Thanks, Keith. I'm still looking for a Ben.
I
don't know. We should.
I'm a lucky guy. What can I say?
So if you've stuck around this long for the video, take a guesstimate. We'll count them before our next video. How many bottles do you think we have down here at Ben's Barn?
So you got to do a plus or minus 3 bottles.
Oh, a plus or minus 3. Okay.
Plus or minus 3, and whoever guesses within plus or minus 3 gets a discontinued Whitetails and Whiskey sweatshirt.
A discontinued podcast sweatshirt with Sharpie crossed out. Yeah. So guess the bottle count and tune in next week, or if you're watching this on a previous episode, tune into it. And we'll do a bottle count roughly of what's here in stock. We'll do bourbons and whiskeys, to be fair. We won't throw in vodka, tequila, any of that stuff.
No.
How many bourbon bottles do you think we have available? And again, for full disclosure, we got this. We got the shelves here. There's 2 wine shelves. There's a whole cabinet here off to the side of Keith that's got
a few.
And then there's some stragglers down here at the bottom, and there's 2 footrests that have whiskey in them as well.
So let's help them out a little bit. We're gonna make this fair. To be fair.
Yep. To be fair with it.
Are we under 100? Do you think?
No.
Okay. Are we under?
It's north of 100.
Are we under 200?
I think so. I hope so.
So, all right. So we're under 200.
Yep.
We're north of 90 to 100.
Yep. And are we doing? Okay. So I have duplicates. Are we doing?
No, duplicates don't count.
Duplicates don't count. So it's unique bottles.
Yeah.
Different single barrels do count as a unique bottle.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
just wanted to be fair with that.
And I didn't say the other name.
Yep.
It's a figment of your imagination.
Yep. We'll just cross it out with Sharpie.
Duct tape.
Yep. Duct tape across it. Keep the logo.
Don't put that in the comments. It's going to take
We don't want to get sued, guys.
It's going to take me a little bit to get used to this because it is so new.
So we're north of 100. Probably, but not 100%.
And what's our name?
South of 100, or south of 200. 100 proof whitetails.
100 proof whitetails.
100 proof.
And we predominantly do 100 proofs.
Yeah, for the last 2 episodes.
All right, so share, like, subscribe.
All that good stuff. And thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the comments. Let us know how many bottles you think are down here at Ben's Bar.
Also, let us know if you want to see a blooper reel.
He just wanted me to put a blooper reel together for this darn thing.
If you want to see a blooper reel, let us know.
Yeah. Well,
because I'm pretty sure Ben's funny. And
I think one of these weeks we just need to do a live one of actually doing one of these live and just go for like 2 hours just drinking and hanging out with everybody too.
I'm game.
Yeah. And plan it with the wives, let the wives hang out, and then they can drive us home. They can drive you home. I can go to bed upstairs, but nonetheless.
There's a couch right there.
There's a couch right there too.
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys very much. Till next time, we'll catch you down here.